has good technique, he will be elite. If his technique becomes great, not just good, then he's a Hall of Famer. Fighting through contact, fighting through offensive line, being a double team, multiple moves stacked into one, just a play of pure domination. This is actual film. This is actual football talk. It's a football show. We're supposed to talk football, not storylines.
And you are listening to another edition, the 56th edition of Blitz, the final edition recapping the Jets 2020-21 season. That was absolutely brutal. Quick 30 plays. This was probably, and always is, I feel like week 17 at Patriots is always the least amount of film work I put in, where I kind of just watch it and whatever stands out greatly, I'll put it in there. But it's going to be a quick, hour-ish show because we're all ready to move on. Want to get this done. The quick housekeeping, JRB31 on Twitter. Pretty much waiting for the head coaching candidate to get hired at this point. Don't really have a lot of film to put out. I've obviously spoken in the past about me having, over 100 plays of Wilson, over 130 plays right now of Fields, and those reviews are not done yet. And I'll wait more till draft time to put those out. I don't want to put those out early into January and things like that because I want to wait for the combine, a bunch of other, talking points I have to get to with those guys. So I won't put those out for a little while. So I'm pretty much in limbo waiting for the coach to get hired so I can look into their film, look into the defensive coordinator's film, etc., and then put up reviews of them. But on Twitter, I will be putting up some of the film of the 2020 season in terms of the guys moving forward. Like, I'm not going to put up Mateus Farley film, but the guys like Herndon and Becton and Fant and all those guys, I'll be putting up some film into threads. So check that out on Twitter. If you're still interested in those guys, I'm hoping that obviously you're interested in the young guys who might be here for a couple of more years, obviously. Leave reviews, definitely drop the reviews. Helps out the podcast. You guys know that. I'm sure every other podcast you listen to will say that, but it really does. JetsXFactor.com. Nania Sabo is the all-around guy. Nania, with his podcast with Ben, are putting out a ton of coaching candidate podcast with guests from the team, reporters or fans or whoever who are speaking about the head coaching candidates. So check them out. CUYJ Pod, I believe, on Twitter. If not, I'm sure you can find Michael Nania and he's retweeting and stuff like that. Obviously, with the head coaching talk, with all that stuff, we just did the live stream the other day, myself and Kyle Smith. We had a ton of people join us, both live and then after. A ton of great callers. I really enjoyed the callers, really enjoyed the interactions with both the callers and the people on YouTube. So every Monday or every first Monday of the month, those will be going on. So make sure to check that out. That was basically it was a good amount. It was 2 of the 3 hours speaking about head coaching candidates and what to do at quarterback. So I'm not going to hit a ton on the coaching candidates now, because we talked about it so much, and that was just 2 days ago. So go check out the live stream if you haven't already. But right now it does feel like that Fitzgerald, Eberflus, and Wink are the front runners for the Jets job. Just based on their backgrounds, what the Jets are looking for, I feel like those are 3 guys that the Jets really like. Fitz obviously with the connection to Joe Douglas. I forget exactly how that is about, but I know they're connected in some way. With Eberflus, the connection obviously with the Colts. The Jets are like the Colts East. Obviously Rex Hogan being from that organization, and looking for that leader type guy. Eberflus is hyped up as one of those guys. So I feel like he's going to be a strong candidate for the Jets, whether or not you love him. And Wink, obviously, with the connection to Baltimore that Douglas has, and with Wink's strong leadership ability, that's always touted. So I feel like those are the 3. If I had to bank on one, like a group of 3, one of them to get it, that's probably the 3 I'm going to take. But like I said, we talk about all those guys a lot, and obviously once they are hired, or whoever is hired, I will have a full breakdown of offense, defense, etc., to show you guys what to expect with those guys. But getting into the game, again, gonna be pretty quick. We are all done with this season, so I didn't feel like spending a ton of time on this. I'm sure you guys are ready to get the off season kicked off. Welcome back, Dark. I know you're going to be in here now. All right. Duds. Jets lost. What the hell was the score? 24 to 14? 28-14, right? No, it's 28-14, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I don't think there's any field goals. Duds. I'm putting Darnold as the number 3. He did have a few good throws this game that I will recap. And again, I'm not going to go crazy into this. I only have like not even 10 plays of him, I don't think. But again, his last fight for his life to be the Jets quarterback, to show the Jets, listen, I could be the guy. He did not do well enough, in my opinion. And if you were teetering on the side of Darnold this week, where, okay, he has one last game to prove to the new head coach, maybe the head coach wants to prove it to him, he'll have a couple of good throws, then he'll have a brutal miss, then he'll have a brutal interception or 2 a game. He had 2 this game. He could have had 3. We'll go over the Jamison Crowder play. Did he look at Crowder? Did he not look at Crowder? But regardless, 2 interceptions. So people will say, "Oh, well, look at the touchdown to Herndon. Like, that was a great player. Oh, look at the pass to Perryman over the middle." Yeah, those are great. But when you have consistent turnovers, those completely dissolve those good plays. Like, you can't just keep having turnovers and then say, "Oh, well, look at the good 3 or 4 passes he made," because a pick is worth 10 good passes, or 2 picks is worth 20 good passes. Like, you can't have those games consistently. And again, like, a lot of these passes he's had, like last week was 50 completion percentage. This week was 23 for 34. So whatever that is, like 75-ish%, or 70-ish%. But go to his film and look at how many passes are in the flat or screen passes. So yeah, sure, a lot of it's like yak and stuff like that, and not a lot of it's deep down the field. Like, a lot of the mistake-free games last couple of weeks with the Browns and the Rams were all passes within the 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. That's why his yards per attempt was like 4.8 or whatever it was over the last couple of weeks, because he's throwing everything so short. So it's not like he's like going through multi-layered concepts, full field reads, and making great throws. Like, he's hitting guys in the flat. So you have to be fair with your evaluation. You have to be fair with Darnold, you have to be fair with Flacco, to be fair with Becton, you have to be fair with Q, you have to be fair with everybody. You have to be fair with the new quarterback. And that's what that show is here for, or the show is here for. Like I said, 23 for 34, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Let's get into some of his film. Let's see. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 plays. Not a lot. For a quarterback, and this might be the last time I'm ever reviewing Darnold stuff. So let's see, 7, great throw. Okay, yeah, like I said, he definitely had a couple of throws this game. I'm never going to hide the good stuff, because I'm on the train of Darnold leaving. At this point, I think it's like a 75-25% thing, to be completely honest, of people who want Darnold to move on, or the Jets to move on from Darnold. There's not been many people I've rooted more or for more than Darnold because of his personality. He seems like a really good dude, but I just don't think a new head coach is going to want to, anchor down on Sam Darnold, and then, oh, well, okay, you trade down and you get these draft picks. Okay, well, then you have to trade up next year to get the quarterback if he doesn't work out after you extend him to $25 million a year without knowing what quarterback's going to be there. Like, that's the crux of the argument. Again, a lot of people say, oh, look at Tannehill. Tannehill was good under Philbin. He was decent under Gase. He was never as bad as Darnold. Like, if you start going into Darnold's stats, I'm not a big stats guy. He's there with historically bad quarterbacks. Like, yeah, blame it on Gase all you want, and there are obviously problems with Gase. There are problems with the offensive line. It's not great, but it's not definitely better than last year. His weapons aren't elite. They're okay at times. But also look at how much more productive Perriman was under Flacco. Look how much productive Mims was under Flacco. And again, he's there with historically bad quarterbacks in terms of stats. So even if you want to blame some of that on Gase, that's fine. But what is the other 50% of it? Darnold. And then again, looking at the new head coach wanting to tie himself to a 4th-year guy who's broken instead of getting a blank canvas and a rookie. I really just do not see it. I really do doubt severely that the Jets will trade down and keep Darnold. Great throw, mesh sail. And people are like, oh, what about this throw? Okay. Again, that one pick a game is worth 10 good throws. You can't have it. Play action. Let's see, single back, 3-by-1. Play action's not sold well continuously. They go with this deep mesh, which turns the boundary side comes into the play side or into the field side for a sail concept. And Darnold does a great job. Like this is anticipation throw. And again, don't think I'm putting up a play or two that's positive or negative either way about a guy I do not like or like. That means they're great players. But this is one of the better throws you'll see. This is what you saw from him in flashes. It's just not enough. But he's obviously reading most likely deep here than intermediate, or he's probably reading deep mesh and then the flat. I want to look at his eyes, I guess, the next thing. But his anticipation here that this receiver is going to get behind this linebacker is very, very good. And obviously with the linebacker, with his back to him, the back to the receiver, and then turning and dropping vertically, he knows that he's not going to be able to move with him in this window right here. And Darnold, again, has great anticipation here, throws it not high enough. It's in a tight window. He doesn't want to throw it high and get these and let these guys make their way to the ball. He doesn't want to throw it too high and let him peel off and get underneath of that throw. So he puts it with good zip and low. Perfect. That's a 10 out of 10 play. Well, minus the handoff, the play action. That's not very good. But again, looks like he's reading right and deep at first. Then his eyes go inside to the mesh. That's what I thought it would be. Usually it's deep, intermediate, short with reads. So eyes deep, doesn't want to take the deep shot. Sees Perryman, throws it again right behind the linebacker. Not the best technique. Obviously, the front foot's not pointed. Not really driving through it. Doesn't look like there's a lot of shoulder and hip displacement, but great throw to Perryman. Good catch over the middle. Moving on to the next play, 8. Doesn't see blitz coming. These are things I want to see like pre-snap. With Darnold, the Jets in general point out better, because this is something you should notice at the NFL level, just based on alignment. With this linebacker, now that could be a tell for zone. I think it's a linebacker, right? Could be a tell for zone, but you definitely want to point this guy out. I didn't see him pointed out pre-snap. I don't believe I did. I'm 90% sure on that. He loops inside. Nobody picks him up. And again, this is Elfline. Like people put up the good player or two of Elfline a game. In the run game where he throws a guy, or in the pass game where he throws a guy who's already falling, but they failed to put up the 30 other plays. So there's been like 1 or 2 people who have tweeted about Elfline out here. All Jets fans are like, oh my God, this guy should be a starter next year. He's trash still, minus a good player too. Again, Elfline should get a little bit more depth. Notice him looping, pick up this penetrator in the A gap, allow McGovern to pick this up, but he never does. And McGovern has to carry, and then it leads to a sack, which again, I did not see those pointed out. Darnold should notice it, get the ball out quick, check it, but he doesn't. Takes a sack. Moving on to the next one, 13, 15, 16. Okay, 13, 15, 16. Darnold, bad miss, tech, okay. Play action, roll out left, right? And the naked left. Yeah, naked left. Reads deep, then intermediate. Deep, intermediate. Sees Perryman uncovering. And at this point, Darnold has plenty of time to set his feet. This linebacker is running towards him, but plenty of quarterbacks can quickly set their feet and fire this ball, which, again, at this point, if he is looking at this, he should fire it right now. I don't know why he takes these extra couple of steps. This is wasted right here. If he looks right here, it should be plant fire now. He waits too long, one. So again, this is with like Yeah, he had time and all that stuff, but like when good quarterbacks see guys open, they hit them immediately because windows can close, really quickly. Whether it be 27 passing off to the safety, then him dropping down, like, and obviously it doesn't look like that now. I'm just saying in other examples, you need to just fire the ball. That's just a quick mental processing. So he waits too long, and then his technique is not very good in terms of throwing this ball. Again, he doesn't really create a lot of displacement from the hip to the shoulder. And again, when this front foot plants is when you want the shoulders back to create that whip-like motion. And he plants, and as he's planting, his shoulders are coming forward, so you're not creating that displacement that you want, and the hips and the shoulder are not really disconnected either. So again, you want to see 3 levels of kind of displacement to create that whip-like motion. No, he does get pretty square to it and gets his hand kind of tight to him. But again, not the best technique right there. And again, just slow in terms of throwing this ball, and slow and just bad technique in terms of this actual throw. And again, the fact that he should plant and fire like that is completely available right here. Puts the ball too high, and I'm sure people are like, oh, Perryman dropped. No, yeah. We talked about that on the live stream. Perryman is a decent receiver. He is. I don't give a shit what anybody says. There's plenty of film out there. He could have had like 5 or 6 touchdowns in the 2-3 weeks he played with Perryman or with Flacco. Yeah, a drop or 2, yeah. But again, one of the drops against the Brown was Denzel Ward making one of the most elite plays you'll see as a corner. Okay, so drop back. Darnold reads right, gets some interior pressure, rolls out. Good job. Now, this is the play where Crowder saved the interception. I'm not going to say one way or the other whether he did or not. To be completely honest, if I had to bet, I don't have to. Fortunately, I would say that he was not throwing this to Crowder. I'm saying that he already made the decision, that he saw the back of this defensive back and wanted to throw back shoulder, which one he should whip it to the sideline, not as inside as he did. Or actually, no, he put it to the sideline. I apologize. I forgot. But with this, if you look at his helmet, you see how it's looking to the sideline right here, and you're going to see his head slightly cant to the left right there. So he might have seen Crowder and decided to throw it, which would have been an elite throw, or ish. Or he saw him, checked him, didn't want to throw it, and then just try to fit it into this window and didn't. Like I'm 50-50 on that. Now, obviously, Crowder jumps it, which he had a lot of faith in Crowder, and it made it an elite type of play to do that. Because if this actually, it's not an elite play. Let's be honest. Because if that corner attacked the ball right here instead of letting it come to him, it's a pass breakup or a pick. So regardless, he shouldn't have thrown this ball. Now that I'm looking at it again, I went through this really, really quickly, so I'm definitely working through it as I watch it. But again, he does slightly cant his head to the left and check Crowder, it seems to me right there. So he throws it. Again, having that much faith in putting it towards the sideline like that, I do think that it was supposed to go to the running back, and Crowder just saved him. Counted for half a pick right there, half a catch, like whatever you want to do. Ballsy play, whatever you want to call it, whatever. 16, TD Herndon. Yeah, this is a good play from both guys. A reduced trip set right here, or bunch. Drops back. I think he reads middle of the field safety. He reads the looks to be like a cover 2 hole. Yeah, it looks to be like a cover 2 hole. Regardless, he checks Herndon, sees Herndon bend his route into the seam right here between the 2 deep safeties. Sees it, is quick to plant and get that ball out of his hands. Good base. See, the front foot is planted, and now the shoulders are back. The hip comes through before the arm, creating that whip-like motion. Tighter hand. Good drive, good planted foot, good bend, good extension from the back leg. That's better technique from Darnold right there. Keeps the tight, keeps his hand tight, doesn't drop it down, follows through. Like, this is good technique. That's good. That's a good throw from Darnold because of good technique. Puts it in a perfect spot between the two safeties. And it has to put a little air under it just in case it was to get, one of these guys were to sink underneath of it. So yeah, you might put a little tiny bit high, but still really, really good throw again. Drops back, reads the safety, sees Mofo, which is middle field open, checks Herndon. Good. Could have a little bit more, could have opened his stance a little bit more or his front foot a little bit more to allow his hips to open up a little bit more. But again, square to where he wants the ball, fires it, good balance, good base, doesn't lean out of it, follows through, square. Great catch by Herndon. Catch, knows he's about to take a hit and tucks the ball, takes a big shot. See? You just got to be fair. Good technique with his hands. Like, remember Herndon early in the year? I was talking about this catch. If you're watching on video, now they're tighter. You almost have the pointers touching, the thumbs touching, like that diamond. That's pretty much as good as it gets. Catches the nose, quick to get two hands tuck. Really, really good play by Herndon. He could be a guy post Adam Gase, that gets his confidence back. Now, it seemed like it was a confidence thing earlier in the year because he just sucked. He was terrible. It was just dropping balls, everything. He was awful. Now people are like, oh, it's all Gase's fault. No, certain aspect, yeah, Gase doesn't like to use his tight ends, but at the same time, when the ball was going to Herndon, it wasn't Gase who's running out in the field and catching the ball for Herndon, dropping all these balls, concentration drops, fumbles. That was Herndon. That wasn't Gase. So again, you can't just blame everything on the guy who's a bad head coach. Like, a lot of it was Herndon. If he caught those balls, he'd have a lot better of a year. Drop back, play action, so a little bit better. Looks like you have a cover 3. Darnold drops back, reading left or middle right there. I'll see on the other view. Sees Perryman, obviously on his deep stop route curl, and if anything, again, these linebackers are sucked up because of play action. He has a ton of room. Throw it with some zip. Obviously enough touch to get over the linebackers, but pretty good zip. What does he do? Let's see. I want to see if he rips the ball right here. Looks like he rips the ball. I'll see from another view. Rips the ball. Complete overthrow. Again, you know that on a curl and a stop, he's going to be working back to the ball, so put it on his face, And, if he could fit this in here, is it a bad decision to throw this ball? No, it's not. People you look and it's like, oh my God, triple coverage, because on the broadcast you see this. But again, if this was to be thrown with enough touch to hit him at the 45-yard line, 40, 43, tight window throw, but a throw that you can make, especially on a 3-man route combo or 4-man route combo where those are only really options deep. Like, I'm fine with a throw, just obviously the technique is terrible. Play action a little bit better. Okay, no, never mind. So he's reading that the entire time. He's staring that down. So if anything, he should know. It's like if it was a decision where it was like he was reading left to middle, saw Perryman, his timing was just a little bit off because he was expecting to break later, earlier, whatever it may be, then fine. But when you're staring at him and you see him coming out of this break, you got to know you're not putting this high. You can't put this high right here. Look where the ball ends up. At the 42. So he wanted Perryman to fight back to the ball, go up in double coverage and catch this ball. Just terrible location. Whether it be by technique or just a terrible decision in terms of reading the coverage and where to put the ball based on leverage. There's multiple factors to that. Reads it the entire time. And again, not much drive from that front foot. Not much disconnection as he plants his, this throws a lot of shoulders. It's not a lot of hips. There's really not a lot of disconnection right here. So it's a lot of shoulders. It's a lot of arm. And people tend to think, okay, well, if it's just arm, it means you underthrow them. More than not, you actually overcompensate and you actually overthrow balls. Pick. Terrible. That's you can't have it. For all the good stuff, you can't have that. 3 more plays. This is one of the plays where you'll see on Twitter the Sam Darnold fanboys who don't like to be. They blame the people who get to get rid of Darnold not being fair, but then they're also not fair on their side. It's brutal. It's like the tribalism that people talk about. You're either for something or against something. There's no nuance. There's no discussion. Now, with this post wheel, do I like the decision to throw the ball here? Yes, I do. Just because of, it's tight coverage. Yes. But in the NFL, you have to make these throws. You have a bigger, your tight end who's a bigger guy, I guess, room to the sideline. Eyes back to the quarterback or going back to the quarterback with the defenders back to the quarterback. So he has the advantage to show late hands, push off, work to the sideline. Fine with that. This is a normal throw in the NFL that people hit. Darnold puts the ball a little bit too far inside and too high. Or again, look at where the ball is, and I'll show it in the other video. It looks like a drop here. This ball should be here. Don't put it vertical when the guy is in his hip and doesn't see him, because it doesn't give Herndon the ability to like push off, turn to the sideline, and kind of box him out. You're not taking advantage of his length right here fully. So let's look at it. Again, good decision to throw it. I'm completely fine with it. Stepping into it, takes a hit, like all good. The ball is too high. It needs to be outside in here, not high and inside. So bad placement. And again, people, he dropped it. Yeah. Okay. I get the people. Oh, well, if you get a finger on the ball, you should catch it. You never caught a football then from an NFL quarterback and getting a fingertip on it. Like now, I'm kind of the opinion where if you get like anywhere to like I don't know what the hell, you have technically 2 knuckles in your hands, right? Or is it 3 knuckles? 1, 2, 3. I don't know. I guess if you have 3, it's your second knuckles. Like if it's right here in the midpoint of your fingers, then yeah, it should definitely be a catch. If it's on your fingertips, like on your first knuckles, third knuckles, whatever the hell you want to call it, then like, yeah, you should be able to kind of pinch it a little bit and maybe bring it into yourself, not make a clean catch. I get that. But if it touches a fingertip, like it does right here, just touches his pointer and or his index finger and maybe his middle finger, there's no way you're catching that ball. It's impossible. So that was the drop that I saw on Twitter, which is complete bullshit, obviously. 29. Good throw. Oh, Vincent Smith. Yeah, this is a good throw. Okay. Same type of decision. Bunch right, a little bit of pressure in the middle, looks left, rolls out right, throws the ball. And again, he throws the ball. I don't know if I have it in another view. He throws the ball here because one, he's under pressure, and this is a situation. Defender's back to Darnold. He has a little bit of room on the sideline, so he's going to give his receiver to make a play on the ball. Like you have to do this at times, especially when the DB is running vertical and has his back to him. Like you just have to give your DB some time, or your receiver to make a play. You have to give him the ability to make a play. So pressure, nothing really open. Drops back a little bit, nothing left. Decides to roll out right. Good job. Pretty good technique in terms of getting that ball out. Again, with touch, you want a higher release point. Has a higher release point, jumps off the right foot, creating that vertical like pressure to throw the ball. You don't want to fade out because you're not going to go towards him. If anything, you're on the run, you kind of want to either drive towards him. And if you can't drive towards him because of the situation, you want to at least jump and get vertical. Aids to a better throw than completely like fading out. Again, in a situation with a good receiver, this is a Mims, this is a Perryman, if this is a Herndon, maybe they catch this ball. You want to see obviously him come back to the ball and attack it, not like bucket catch right there and hits him kind of in the chest and falls out. So good play by Darnold, not a good play by Smith. Last interception.
To watch the entirety of this video, the subscriber full video, click on the link in the description and become a subscriber for free today.